mga kaalyado ng mga Duterte like Sara, like Bongo, like Bato ay delikado na madala rin sa ICC. Well, to be Senate President, you need at least 13 of the 24 different republics in the Senate. Ang labanan sa next election ay between the Dutertes and the non-Dutertes. Hindi ko naman ma-imagine, diba, sila Bam or Kiko joining Sara. Hindi yan usapin ng puso, usapin niya ng strategy, at usapin niya ng utak. Yung tokhang na nangyari, kung more than 35,000 ang pinatay, magiging political tokhang yan. Na mismo si Sara inaamin, di kami nakakalimot, there will be hell to pay. Ahatakin ko kayo sa impyerno. In this case, ang trabaho ng Congress is to impeach. Ang trabaho ng Senate is to convict or acquit.
Welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng Pilipinas 360 Degrees. Kasama naman natin isa sa ating mga luminaries, former ex-secretary Ronald Llamas, one of the most respectable, beautiful English. Kasama natin, Sir Ronald Llamas. Thank you very much, Sir Ronald, for joining us.
Magandang araw.
Ganda ng jacket natin, Sir Ronald.
Lahat ng ating kapakinig. Ang ibig sabihin ba ng luminary, luminous?
Medyo, ano na yan, medyo papunta na tayo sa Trixie Land. But, Sir Ronald, speaking of luminous, okay, let's talk about it. Ano ba talaga ang kalakaran sa Senado when you join the majority? Kasi are you coughing because you're coughing or are you coughing because ayaw mo sagutin? Ang kalakaran ba? Kasi meron Mickey Mouse Disneyland theory na, basta sasali ka lang sa majority dahil friends tayo, we love each other, you make me the Senate President, okay na yan, you can be still a minority within majority. May iba naman nagsasabi, katulad ni Justice Carpio in our previous episode doon sa ibang platform natin na, hindi, may quid pro quo yan. There's no way you're gonna join the majority na walang kapalit. Especially if ito ay dominated ng DDS camp. So, Sir Ronald, where do you stand on that issue? You know, like, is there a quid pro quo when you join a majority, especially a cheese DDS-dominated majority? And if ever there's gonna be a quid pro quo, how can we make sure, or how can Bam and Kiko make sure na it doesn't compromise their fundamentals?
Well, definitely. Dahil pag sinabi mong magjo-join ka sa majority, una, ibig sabihin dyan ay bahagi ka ng majority na sinusuportahan yung administration. No? Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Not all of the time. No? So, yun yung isang element dyan na identified ka with the ruling administration. No? Ikalawa ay iboboto mo not only on a limited personal basis yung Senate President na gusto mo. Napupunta ka sa majority dahil yung binoto mong Senate President ay nanalo. Kaya merong personal element yan. Either kaibigan mo, kapartido mo, kaalyado mo yung Senate President, no? Na naging dahilan kung napunta ka sa majority. At ikatlo, yung sinasabi ni Justice Carpio, yung quid pro quo. Definitely meron. Isang mahalagang elemento yan ng pagsama mo sa majority. Meron ka makukuhang mga key chairmanships, committees, nasa first in line ka sa mga perks, sa mga insertions na dinedenay ng Senado, no? Kasama ka sa mga lump sums na dinedenay ng Senado na gustong busisiin ni Senator Ping Lacson pagpasok niya dito sa 20th Congress sa SONA, at iba pang mga perks of being in the majority. So, yun yung tatlong variables. No? Usually, identified ka sa gobyerno, sa administration. Usually, identified ka dun sa Senate President na binoto mo. At usually, may kapalit yan na mga goodies, like chairmanships.
Right. Well, obviously, the goodies, the chairmanship has been a highlight of the argument or justification, or some would say apologia for Kiko and Bam, basically, some would say abandoning Risa on the other side of the equation. But going back to this... Secretary Llamas, when you talk about quid pro quo in this case, hindi ba cheese is less at the mercy of the administration than the mercy of the Dutertes? Because this is a situation whereby the majority in the bloc, DDS-7, will have disproportionate influence within that bloc. So sometimes I wonder who's pulling the strings here, right? or to what degree Cheese is doing what Cheese wants or the admin wants or actually the DDS7 want. Kaya, what kind of quid pro quo do you think the DDS7 will push for if you want to join them as a majority bloc?
Yeah.
And what should Bam and Kiko do to make sure that they still preserve their autonomy?
Well, to be Senate President, you need at least 13
Majority.
of the 24 different republics in the Senate. No? Ikalawa, hindi mo naman pwedeng kaaway ang Malacanang. No? Hindi naman siya usually yung main reason kung bakit ka naging Senate President dahil nga merong 24 different republics. Pero value added kung ikaw ay suportado ng palasyo. No? Yun yung mahalaga. In this case, ay merong at least 7 yung mga Duterte. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin more than half ng minimum na kailangan mo manggagaling sa kanila. So you bend backward for them. At malamang, kasama mo yung mga yan sa majority dahil iboboto ka nila to be Senate President. At yung kaibahan ng ating landscape ngayon ay nasa gitna ka ng existential battle between the Dutertes and the Marcoses. Ang kaibahan ng ating sitwasyon ngayon ay meron kang ICC na kinuha yung patriarch ng mga Duterte, nilagay sa The Hague, at mismo yung mga kaalyado ng mga Duterte like Sara, like Bongo, like Bato ay delikado na madala rin sa ICC. No? At ikatlo, ang dominant dito, the elephant in the room, is the next presidential election sa 2028. Ibig sabihin, labanan yan ng Duterte, clearly, at ng mga non-Duterte. Dahil wala namang malakas na kandidato pa yung mga Marcoses. So yan yung context na pinanggagalingan nitong election na ito for the Senate presidency. Kumbaga, naiiba siya. Dahil mas compelling yung division between majority and minority as never before. No? Nung nakaraang 6 na taon, nung panahon ni Duterte, si Kiko at saka si Bam at saka si Risa ay magkakasama sa minority. Very clear yung divide between minority at majority at between opposition at saka administration. From 2016 to 2019, magkasama silang tatlo. 2019 to 2022, hindi na senador si Bam, ang kasama ni Risa ay si Kiko. No. So, very clear yung lines nung panahon ni Digong. Nitong panahon ni Marcos, ganun din. Ang minority from 2022 to 2025 ay si Risa at saka si Coco. Diba?
Right.
So ngayon, parang may pagbabago sa isang panahon na mas sharp yung distinction. Doon medyo nagre-react yung mga tao. Bakit ngayon pa nagkaroon ng ganong klaseng seduction?
Right.
Yung mga dapat na sa minority, papunta ng majority, when going into 2028, dapat mas sharp yung distinction between the Dutertes and the non-Dutertes.
Sir Ronald, of course, there is that big existential showdown between the Dutertes and the Marcoses. But obviously, there's also this dynamic. It's not a conflict, but there's this dynamic between basically the Leni Robredo understanding of where the progressive opposition should go or liberal opposition go, and what many believe is the Riza Hontiveros way of going towards it. Now, ito yung reaction ni Vice President Leni Robredo dun sa mga na-criticize. Hindi niya pinangalanan si Ronald Llamas or si
Richard Heydarian.
Pero ito yung sinabi niya, marami pa rin kasi tayong mga kasama na mas puso yung pinapairal. Mas emosyon. Ako, kung gusto natin manalo, di pwede yun eh. Kung gusto natin manalo, kailangan mas malayo yung ating pagtingin at mas malawak yung ating pagtingin. Ngayon, parang one false move lang or one move na isang kandidato na hindi sang-ayon sa iba, away na nila kaagad. Mahirapan tayo na wala tayong espasyo para doon sa mga hindi eksakto sa paniniwala natin. So in short, Sir Ronald, are you an emotional person?
Very.
And is it bad to be emotional?
I'm a heart person. I'm a very heart person. No?
Yeah.
Hindi ako intellectual. Ako ay just intellected.
Yun.
No? Yan. Pero parang medyo may kaunting mali doon sa sinabi ni former Vice President Leni Robredo. Dahil una, nanalo na eh. Tapos na yung
election. Exactly.
Yes. Nanalo ka na. At ang susunod na election
It's gonna be different.
Will be 2031? No? 2031.
What do you mean 2028?
Six-year term ang Senado eh. 2028 is
What
3
if
years.
someone wants to run for presidency among those 2 who won?
Kaya nga, ang ikalawa, ang labanan sa next election ay between the Dutertes and the non-Dutertes. Hindi ko naman ma-imagine, 'di ba? Sila Bam or Kiko joining Sara. No?
Di ba ka naman sabi, to be pragmatic, para meron tayong committees, para man ganun, baka, don't you think we can go down that road na eventually you may make an argument? Baka also with Dutertes, we have to work with them.
Okay lang naman maging pragmatic. I'm just as pragmatic as the other guy.
Yeah.
Pero pragmatism has bottom lines.
Yeah.
Halimbawa, pragmatism ba yung kasama mo yung mga Duterte sa majority?
Na majority sila within majority.
Yes.
Just to be clear, majority within majority.
Pragmatism ba yung iboboto mo yung Senate President na nakilala for being forthwith, for being remand, for threatening the dismissal of the impeachment?
Right.
Gusto mo bang ma-identify doon? Ang labanan na susunod is 2028. Sa 2028, clearly, the lines are drawn ngayon pa lang. Ang kalaban mo ay mga Duterte. Bakit makikipag-play footsie ka sa mga yon? Kailangan ang magiging pragmatism mo ay i-harness yung bumoto sa iyo going into 2028 against the Dutertes. Dapat walang ifs and buts doon. Dapat walang equivocation doon. No? At yung habol mo ay huwag buhusan ng malamig na tubig. Yung mga bumoto sa iyo na gusto kang maging counterpoint or alternative sa mga Duterte. Dahil yung Marcos naman wala namang malakas na kandidato if meron silang kandidato in 2028. So, ba't ka sasama dun sa majority na yon? Nakasama yung makakalaban mo sa 2028. No? Hindi yan usapin ng puso. Usapin niya ng strategy. At usapin niya ng utak. No? Kaya hindi yan usapin lamang ng puso. Yung puso, yung idealism ay mahalaga. Dahil yun yung ethos na nag-govern dun sa mga base mo na pink at yung mga Gen Z and millennials na in droves bumoto para sa iyo. No?
Because they want something different.
They want something different. Yeah. Tapos makikita, hindi ka pala different. No? Kaya kung kasama mo pala si Boy Kilay. Kasama mo pala si...
hindi naman makakain yan, yung impeachment.
Makakasama mo pala si
Patorni.
Si Boy Culto. No? Tsaka si Boy Dila. So, ibig sabihin, dapat ngayon, i-harness mo yan. At hindi mo yan ma-harness kung ambivalent ka. No? Dito sa mga kalaban mo. No? Yun yung... tingin ko, that is both pragmatic and idealistic.
Right.
No? Dahil,
but it's more long game.
Oo. Yun yung mahalaga. No? Kung ikaw ay confused, na nakikita ko sila ay medyo confused, no? Yung line between you and the Dutertes ay guguluhin mo.
Yeah. Nagkaroon ng confusion.
Kaya tingin ko you're courting disenchantment. You're courting division. No? You're courting disillusionment dun sa mga bumoto sa iyo by playing that cynical, transactional, quid pro quo game. Lalo na aaminin mo, kaya ka boboto dito kay Mr. Fortwith ay dahil gusto mo ng chairmanship sa committee. Gusto mo ng mga perks of being in the majority.
Okay, which brings us to the Lenny side of the Riza side of this equation. Is joining Chizo Escudero and basically the DDS bloc the only way for Kiko and Bam to be useful as senators?
Well, tingnan mo yung survey. Yung last survey sa mga senators. Sino number 1?
Riza.
Sa mga senators.
Tapos medyo DDS survey pa yan.
In terms of approval rating. That's Publicus.
Which is, like...
Number 1. Ibig sabihin, may traction siya. Right. Ibig sabihin, kinikilala na may nagawa siya. Kahit siya ay in the minority for a decade. Right. A decade! Diba? Since 2016. Almost a decade. So, wag mo malitin ang being in the minority. Lalo na ngayon, na-polarize yung sitwasyon. Ngayon pa, na-polarize yung sitwasyon. Ganyan ngayon ka pa lalaro. It has nothing to do with pragmatism. Right. No? Gusto nila, lecturean ka pa sila about pragmatism eh.
Hindi naman sila naging political affairs secretary sa Ronald, but I just want to disabuse people of certain illusions because I keep on hearing, hindi, kahit naman majority sila, they can still vote like Riza on other issues. Okay, let's talk about other issues. Obviously, the idea of Kiko and Bam voting against convening of the trial is a big no. I don't think it's gonna happen. But we know that's really not the only issue, right? It's how the trial will happen, what are the mechanisms of trial. And as if naman it's just a trial which is gonna be the indicator of where they stand on issue. Pag kasama ka sa majority, you have to go with the flow, right?
Well,
There's gonna be
sabi ko
other
nga-
important issues
Sabi
too.
ko nga doon sa isang kasama nila kanina, sabi ko, sige, bibigyan ko sila ng benefit of the doubt. No?
Trust me, bro.
More
Iwala
doubt,
lang.
more doubt than benefit. Pero kung boboto sila kay Mr. Fortwith, kay Boy Kilay,
Right.
at sasama sila sa majority na kasama ang mga DDS, at the very least, i-articulate nila yung position nila dun sa impeachment. Not yung conviction or acquittal. Kung hindi, yung continuity.
Right.
Para ma-soften yung pagsama nila sa majority. Dahil kung tahimik na nga sila sa usapin ng continuity, no, yung dismissal na gusto ng mga Duterte sa impeachment, tapos boboto pa sila kasama ng mga Duterte sa majority at iboboto nila si Cheese na dinelay yung Senate
Agreeable.
sa trial court.
Yeah.
Kung gagawin nila yan, tatahimik sila, lalong magagalit sa kanila yung mga bumoto sa kanila. Kaya sinasabi natin, no, pagpalagay na na-commit na sila na maging majority, na iboboto si Cheese, i-articulate naman nila yung difference nila kay Cheese tungkol sa dismissal or non-dismissal nung kaso. Katulad ni Raffy Tulfo.
I was about to say, isn't it interesting? Raffy Tulfo came out very strong and said,
Yes.
Give
Kasama
her a
siya doon
chance.
sa 18 na nag-remand. Pero ngayon, malinaw yung position niya. Dapat ituloy ito. Dapat marinig ang mga ebidensya, which means opening the bank accounts, etc. So, medyo yung kanyang pagsama sa 18, medyo na-soften or nawala.
and I think that was also quite ambivalent 18 joining, no? Kung titingnan mo yung
Tahimik siya.
tahimik siya, yung reaction niya, I mean, there are other things we cannot talk about, but base sa ating understanding, Raffy Tulfo was not 100% into either of the two camps because he was still looking at other considerations. And not to mention, he doesn't want to come off as if he's trying to eliminate a rival for 2028, considering he's a top 2 candidate to be the next president of the Philippines, right? So,
Yes.
I'm just saying, in spite of all of that, he's pushing for that. And then, Sir Ronald, isn't it weird? Because someone who worked in the campaign of one of these two guys who wants to join Boy Kilay said to me, hindi pa parang weird na si Tito Lacson at Tito Soto pa, sila pa yung minority na taga-admin. Tapos itong dalawa na tumakbong pink, sila pang sasali sa
Correct.
Team Kilay. Hindi pa parang medyo weird yon?
Correct. Oo. Pero that's Philippine politics for you. Ang gusto lang natin, sana i-elevate nila.
Kaya nga, sana we get out of that Philippine politics. Mag-level up naman ng
doon sa
konti.
cynicism ng Philippine politics na medyo nagagalit na yung kabataan. That's why they voted out itong mga artista. Di ba?
Yeah.
Oo.
Dami
At
natalo,
kung
di ba?
i-harness nila yan, ibo-vote out niyan yung mga dynasties. Ibo-vote out niyan yung mga walang hiya, yung mga magnanakaw, yung mga may crimes against humanity. Pero, hinihintay nitong mga bumoto sa kanila, nasaan sila? Sino yung leader namin? Nadadaling kami sa 2028 sa isang defining historic battle. Yun yung direction mo eh.
Okay, let's talk about that.
At itong pagboto mo sa majority, if ever, ay parang sinasakripisyo. Yung strategy, yung track, yung pag-harness ng iyong troops going into 2028.
Okay, let's talk about it. Because, Sir Ronald, as we speak, again, scholars, you and I and a couple of other friends have been accused of sowing division. Tayo pa daw yung hindi lang emotional, tayo pa daw yung parang agent saboteur, nag-intriga daw tayo, we're sowing the seeds of intrigue, and masyado daw tayong fanatic kay Riza. Like we're blindly personalistic by keep on saying Riza. And we have even some friends saying, bakit Riza kayo ng Riza? Wala naman ginawa si Riza para kay Checky Bam or Kiko and Bam. Nanalo naman sa...
Hello, RBK, ikaw ba yan?
No. And then meron pa ako narinig, hindi na ibang tao yan. Meron pang isa pang version. Si Riza naman, yung mga committees niya, wala naman ginawang concrete, tangible, katulad ng education and agriculture na gusto nila Bam and Kiko. So basically, they are they're dismissing Riza's contributions and achievements. I'm not sure that's a very nice way of doing things. Are they trying to sabotage Risa?
Hindi naman natin sinasabi na si Risa ang nagpanalo sa kanila. Dahil wala namang isang tao, isang grupo nagpanalo sa kanila. Di ba? Yeah. Baka nga yung nagpanalo sa kanila, itong mga kabataan na anonymous. Ang sinasabi lang natin, una, noong 2022, pinasa ni Lenny yung baton ng leadership sa Pink kay Risa. So, ginawa ni Risa yun. Nag-scale up siya against the Duterte, critical siya sa mga Marcos, kinatay niya yung mga dayuhan katulad ni Alice Goo, no? Yung mga sekta katulad ni Kibuloy, yung mga criminals against humanity katulad ni Digong. Ginawa niya yan, kaya siguro mataas yung kanyang approval rating dito sa latest survey sa mga senador. So nag-scale up siya dahil pinasa sa kanya ni Lenny yung leadership. Ikalawa, siya yung tumalong parang campaign manager ni Bam at saka ni Kiko starting last year. Kung maalala mo, ang dami nilang mga memes, mga TikTok, mga Instagram, mga ads, no, na ang sinasabi, samahan niyo ako sa Senado.
Right.
Diba? Samahan niyo ako.
Si Cheese? Si Risa pala. Sorry.
Si Risa.
Nag-iisa kasi daw si Cheese kailangan.
So, yun lang naman sinasabi natin. Huwag naman nila totally tanggalin si Risa.
Right.
No? Dahil yan ang sinasabi ng isang Harbike, yung leader ng partido ni Bam, no? Hindi, baka kasi hindi maunawaan ng mga tao kung sino to si Harbike.
Hindi kasi marami sila.
Marami pa akong pwedeng sabihin tungkol sa Harbike na yan. Pero wag na ngayon. Wag na muna ngayon, no? Pero yun, no? Yan yung ikalawa.
Hindi nata Pilipinas. Philip Bardagulan 360 na itong show.
Tapos si Katlo, ang sabi lang naman ni Risa, bukas siya sa 2028. No? Hindi naman niya sinabi na siya na yun. No? Kailangan lang may magsalita para may kakapitan itong mga pink sa midterm election, itong mga Gen Z at saka millennials nung midterm election at itong mga disenchanted sa Uniteam. Saan sila kakapit? Kailangan may makita silang leader going into 2028. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na si Risa na. Kung gusto ni Lenny, tingin ko, atras si Risa. So pwede nila pag-usapan pa yan. No? Ay lang nga, si Lenny, kaka-mayor lang I doubt kung bigla niyang iiwanan bago matapos yung kanyang term sa Naga.
What if there's an upsurge of clamor? She'll be our savior.
Parang sinasabi lang, kung siya ang tatanungin, mas gusto niya maging mayor. No? Sabi kasi sa kanya nung kaya yumaong asawa, wag iwanan ang Naga. So, yun yung nakikita natin dito. Hindi naman sa minamaliit, dapat hindi naman nila ipagpag na lang si Risa. No? Hindi naman natin sinasabi na si Risa lang ang nagpanalo sa kanila. Pero ang laki naman ng tulong sa inyo. Lalo na since binigay kay Risa yung baton ng liderato ni Lenny mismo. Hindi na hiningi yun, binigay sa kanya. No? At si Risa, hindi naman pie in the sky idealist. No? Being in the Senate for
she's a survivor. She knows how to navigate.
Almost a decade. Yeah. Meron naman, nauunawaan naman niya yung mga compromises para mapass yung bill mo.
Right. Hindi siya
Pero wag naman nilang sabihin na ang bigas, ang pagkain ay may kulay. No? Ang edukasyon ay walang kulay. Ang edukasyon ay walang kulay. No? May kulay yung edukasyon, kaya nga nagkaganyan-ganyan yung ating edukasyon.
Kasi walang rule.
Diba? Dahil doon sa 6 years ni Digong at dahil sa 2 years ni Sara as DepEd. Ibig sabihin may kulay yan. No? Kaya paano nagkaganyan-ganyan yung kulay ng bigas? Saan nangyari yung rice tariffication law? Diba?
Duterte admin.
Duterte admin. May kulay yan. No? At hindi dahil ikaw ay nasa minority, wala kang magagawa, no? Para dyan sa mga basic na mga usapin ng
because
edukasyon.
Because you're 24 republics, there's collegiality, you can work it out, you can compromise.
Exactly. Huwag nyo naman kami utuin. Alam naman namin paano yung dynamics sa Senado. Pero yung pinakamahalaga nga, inuulit ko, is 2028. Yan bang gagawin nyo ngayon ay makakatulong sa 2028? Kung saan pag nakamalikan mga Duterte, yung mga natitira natin mga institusyon, no matter how weak they are, mawawala yan. Yung tokhang na nangyari, kung more than 35,000 ang pinatay, magiging political tokhang yan. Na mismo si Sara inaamin.
Mahidlis siya.
Hindi kami nakakalimot. There will be hell to pay. Hahatakin ko kayo sa impyerno. Yan ang mga sinabi niya. no? At no less than the president,
No joke.
his wife, no, his cousin, ay tinrete niya ng assassination. Si Hidarian pa.
Ay,
No?
hindi ko kilala yan. Kasi sir, mamaya pag-usapan natin yung rankings natin. Kasi top 4 lang lumabas so far. Bago mo akong buliin ulit, Sir Ron, sa sarili kong show.
Hindi naman kwento Hindi naman cool pals to
This is real stuff we're talking about. No, okay. Let's talk about 2028. If the argument of the Lenny camp is basta focus lang sa gut issues, avoid any big contest, yung sinasabi ni Bongo na hindi naman natin makakain mga yan. So basically, try to beat them in the Bongo way of doing it. Malasake,
Nagulat nga ako nun
education.
nung narinig ko kay Kiko tsaka kay Bam. Uy, si Kiko pala tsaka si Bam. Akala ko si Bongo
Akala ko nga
akala ko si Bongo.
But I've heard that kind. Or even JVRs ito. Di ba? Focus muna tayo sa mga important issues. That sounds to me like...
Lahat ng trapo, yun ang sinasabi.
Hindi naman trap. Sabihin natin traditional politicians. No. Exactly. Like yung ganyan argument, parang I've heard that It's a different variation. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. Now, obviously, si Carmel Abao, yung isa sa mga, contributes sa Akbayan movement, progressive, prof sa Ateneo. She had a very good point last week in a piece she wrote for Rappler, something along the lines of, okay, hindi naman itong usapan kung nasa right place yung heart ni Kiko or whatever. Ang usapan dito is, what's gonna happen to the movement? Where's gonna be the party building kung tatlo na nga lang kayo, nag-split pa kayo? Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about.
What is gonna happen?
Diba?
Kakainin kayo ng buhay ng mga Duterte. Because if you look at the Duterte, solid sila. They just stick together. Even if may dynamic si Bongo, Sara, but they still, kaya nga powerful sila. They have a stranglehold almost on the Senate. Because, and then ang gagawin mo is, to beat them, you split your own limited, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm
Actually,
sorry.
kung consolidated yung tatlo, tapos makakasama nila yung veterans block, mas malaki ang numbers sila to negotiate with Boy Kilay.
And later, even get defection. Maybe the two Tulfos join them. They might even take over.
Mas malaki yung kanilang kwan.
They can even take over later on.
Correct. No? So, sino ang not being pragmatic at this point?
Or baka short-sighted pragmatic versus long-view pragmatism. Like, I think there are two versions of pragmatism also here. Lahat naman tayo pragmatic. Sir, gusto ba natin matalo? Lahat tayo gusto natin manalo.
Alam mo, si Kiko, nanalo siya without the endorsement of the DDS
number
in
5.
Mindanao
That's not the worst
or
number.
the endorsement of the Iglesia. That's not bad. Labas siya ng 12. Diba nag-number 5 siya?
He didn't have to avoid certain issues
sana
or whatever.
ipaliwanag ni Vice President Lenny ano yung ibig niya sabihin ng ang dapat nating consideration ay paano manalo. Panalo na No? Panalo na
Yun nga. So, her argument is that pa-safe ulit tayo, let's play cute, let's focus on gut issues, we'll beat the Dutertes in 2028. I just don't think it's gonna work that way. They're solid, they have a movement. May kilusan na sila Ang mga
Ibig
DDS may kilusan
sabihin,
na.
pag minority ka, you don't focus on gut issues. Kiko was minority for 6 years from 2016 to 2022. Risa is minority from 2016 hanggang 2025. No? Si Bam, minority from 2016 to 2019. Anong ibig sabihin na walang gut issues yung minority?
Baka ayaw lang nila kay Tito Soto na siya yung maging head nila. What about the anti-Soto argument?
Pero at least si Tito Soto ay binabanatan si Cheese doon sa usapin ng dismissal ng impeachment. Bushwhack. Yun ang sabi niya. No? So, at least...
And he protected Trillanes when he was besieged by Duterte back then. It's not like the guy is like
he's not a progressive. He's not a socialist.
Sure.
Like us. No? Pero on the present compelling issue, medyo tumayo siya at this point.
And tumayo din siya for Trillanes back in the day. So we're not saying he has a perfect track record, but I think his track record was slightly better than Boy Kilay, right? Like considering what Boy Kilay has been doing. Just last one on this episode before we move to the more long-term issue of SONA, ICC issue, and balikan din natin yung mga challenges for the current administration. Medyo tumaas naman ang approval ratings ni BBM, but still a long way to go. Etong Supreme Court dynamic, where do you see this coming? Because Justice Carpio has been quite critical about Supreme Court potentially delaying or adding new layers of basically cheesing it up. But at the same time, he seems cautiously optimistic na sobrang sablay kasi yung argument na inherently defective daw yung the whole impeachment proceeding na eventually the Supreme Court will come along. But there are people who are skeptical who have been messaging me saying na because maraming DDS appointed sa Supreme Court, at the end of the day, they're gonna sing to a certain tune. Where do you stand on that issue, Sir Ronald?
Siguro baka dun lang yung nuancing namin ni Justice Carpio. Fundamentally, magkaparehas naman kami ng posisyon. Pero yung kanyang cautious optimism, sa akin mas cautious pessimism.
yeah.
No? Because of the letter. Because of the order.
Right.
Ngayon ako nakakita ng ganong klaseng order.
Right.
Na tinatanong mo yung Congress kung nabasa ba nila yung articles of impeachment at kung naunawaan nila bago tinansmit sa Senado. Actually, sa legal jurisprudence, tinatanong lang yon kung yung kausap mo ay mentally incapacitated. No? Dahil yung mga rules kasi diyan ay separate kung kayo pareho kayong co-equal branches of government. Hindi kayo nasa ilalim ng isa't isa. So, hindi pwedeng tanungin ng Kongreso yung Supreme Court kung ano ba yung batayan nila para gumawa ng ganong klaseng desisyon. Hindi pwedeng gawin yon. Dapat irespeto mo yung isang co-equal branch. Ang trabaho ng Supreme Court is to interpret the Constitution. In this case, ang trabaho ng Congress is to impeach. Ang trabaho ng Senate is to convict or acquit. Malinaw yung lines dyan. So, kailangan may ganong klaseng separation of powers. Ikalawa, yung political question theory. Wag mong tatanungin kung ano yung basihan ng ganitong pagboto ng kongresista. No? Dahil ang kanilang concern is policy. Ang kanilang concern ay politics. Hindi mo pwedeng questionin yun.
Right.
No?
Purview nila yan.
Purview nila yun no? At ikatlo, yung presumption of regularity. Ang assumption mo ay ginawa nila yung kanilang trabaho. Kung magkaroon ng justiciable case, doon ka papasok. Pero papasok ka para tanungin kung nabasa or naunawaan. Medyo classic judicial overreach yan. No? So, kung ganyan yung tenor ng letter, kinakabahan ako kung saan pupunta yan. No? Kung saan pupunta yan. No? Sana hindi naman doon pumunta na mag-decision sila before the SONA or before yung pag-convene ng 20th Congress on the impeachment. Sana naman payagan nilang mag-prosper muna yung impeachment as a court sa 20th Congress. No? Until magkaroon ng justiciable issue, doon sila pumasok. Sana pag-usapan lang nila ito, pero wag muna silang bumoto. Sana. Dahil baka mabanatan sila na, uy, 12 sa inyo, Duterte appointees. Bakit ganyan ang desisyon nyo? Bakit pabor kay Sara? So, ayaw natin mangyari yon, no? Kaya kinakabahan tayo doon sa tenor ng kanilang order na clearly may bias. No? Sana hindi yon ang maging desisyon nila dahil may dalawa silang hearing next week, Tuesday at saka Friday. No? Pero ang pinaka-concern ko ay maglalabas ba sila ng desisyon bago mag-convene yung 20th Congress? Dahil para dun sa mga pro-DDS sa 20th Congress, para dun sa mga pro-cheese sa 20th Congress, ayaw nila na sila ang magpasya na to dismiss or not yung impeachment. Dahil malalagay sila sa damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. Ang gusto nila, para sa kanila, ang best case scenario, Supreme Court ang magpasya. No?
Right.
Dahil yung onus mawawala sa kanila, malilipat sa Supreme Court. Kaya nga dapat concerned dyan ang Supreme Court dahil ayaw ng Supreme Court na sila yung maging line of attack, target nitong outrage ng mga tao dito sa impeachment. Sana. Daming sana.
Sana.
Diba?
Sana. Sana bukas na lang kita mamahalin ang ating team.
Sana ngayon lang tayo nagkatagpo.
Before kung saan mapunta itong kantahan natin, let's close this episode because sa susunod na episode, we're gonna talk about the upcoming SONA of President PM, the legacy years. Bakit cough ka ng cough pag certain topic? And of course, itong issue ng ICC, balikan natin because there are also some interesting development on that front. And of course, we might talk a little bit about the greatest president in U.S. history. Kasi the president is also heading to the White House for some important meetings. especially in light of the new tariffs imposed on the Philippines, which in fairness is quite lower than the rest of the world, but still pretty big. On that note, thank you very much for joining us for this latest episode ng Pilipinas 360 Degrees.